Hello internet. I've decided not to use the PD engine and I've put a different engine in for the time being.
Rest. Should probably zoom in, but I'm not going to. You'll dub over this with music.
There's no holes in this bulkhead. I'm just going to shoot holes straight into the dash.
Adam says there's no holes. Wonder what those wires are getting into.
There's some of the wires are in it, it's not a hole. It says I shouldn't irritate it, but you're a dickhead!
Oh, so glad you did it.
Imagine if that was the thing. To make cleaning products work, you just shout at them.
Let's scare Adam.
I don't know what you did, but it made me jump. So I've taken all of the gear linkage out now. The entire exhaust has come off because that was in the way of getting the gear linkage out. And we're going to be using the downpipe from the Audi engine. Got a hole where the gear linkage has come out, and we've got the new gear linkage there to go in. Whether it will fit or not, I don't know. Hopefully. Ah, the bloody bracket's in the way. Try and put it square up. Hindsight, should probably have just taken this off. Oh, that's how the knob comes off. The knob doesn't come off.
Twisty or is it a pin?
I tried a twisty, but to no avail. We're going to have to cut them inner brackets off, are we? The plate down there. But that's going through, right in the way. So it basically means it can't come up as high as it needs to, because that plate is blocking everything. Hammer. I reckon that will fit through the gap once everything's in place. So yeah, that plate, I think there's 4 of them the whole way around.
The next day.
If for whatever reason, like me, you have this stuff which only really resembles bacon fat all over it, right? I don't know what it is. I'm assuming it's some kind of glue, but when you heat it up it doesn't turn sticky, it just turns into a liquid. The best way to get them off is to just literally use a sponge and go at it, because using a paintbrush with the gunk isn't touching them. I don't know what it is, but it's gross. So you can see there's a bit of rust there, bit of rust there. What I've done is I've sprayed some phosphoric acid on this, because apparently it eats rust really well. So it's going to be interesting to see. This is obviously this pipe running along the front. It's pretty corroded up. So I'm going to cover this whole thing in phosphoric acid, and we're going to see how much rust it can actually eat off. If you're thinking of using phosphoric acid, one thing I want to make very clear is you do not want this on your skin. I just got a splash, you know, a bit of spray through the wind, and it started burning my face. So yeah, this is my new look. So it's the morning and I left the phosphoric acid on overnight, and it's kind of turned everything white, which is weird because on that it's gone white, and yet on here, on the steel, it seems to have gone black. So I'm going to hit it with a wire brush and see what happens. Oh wow, that's just steel. Awesome. Yeah, that's 5 holes, not 8. 6 holes. You son of a bitch. Oh, unnecessary. Twisted a well pit.
Yeah, that will fatigue, trust me.
fair bit later in the day. Had a fair few problems. Obviously we've got to make sure that the gearbox lines up with the drive shaft. However, to do that, we have to change the drive shafts for the ones that came with the gearbox. Now, that drive shaft,
Yeah,
that's not a drive shaft.
I am if I
That's a shaft.
drive a shaft into something.
Ugh. This drive shaft, down here, looked like that. And it took welding the drive shaft itself to both the subframe, well, to 2 points in the subframe, there and there, so that we could get enough leverage on it to actually get it off. And I got a boo-boo because I punched the floor. It's hammers. Right.
Did the vice.
He did the vice up too tight, yes, fine. Good. It's going well, this. Okay. Right. So it's another day again, and long story short, I've been being an idiot because this is a lot easier than I was making it out to be. What I was trying to do was use my old PD, when it was in the Audi, the old PD front mount. So we spent all of yesterday trying to get this to fit and everything, and the engine was too wide and it just wouldn't go in, and it was a royal pain in the arse. And we were like, what's going on? So I asked the caddy forums on Facebook, and they were like, just use the original mount, you moron. Oh yeah. So what I've had to do is I've got the original SDI mount here, however I've modified it, basically drilled it out so that it will fit, and I've nut and bolted it where it needs to go. This is the mount that sits on the top subframe. For some reason I've got M10 bolts, and the original mount was only meant for an M8, so I've just drilled that out and we're tapping that now. Because I want to paint the engine bay, just to make it look a little bit nicer, I've taken both wings off, because obviously you're going to get a certain amount of overspray. I'll be taping things off anyway. I'm now stripping out the engine bay, and obviously this whole loom seems to be as one. This is just for the engine, so I'm going to take the dash out and probably just pull that whole loom through, because that's got to come out anyway. And the loom splits here. Obviously this is the one going to behind the dash, and this is the one that's going up to the ECU, I'm assuming, and then the other side of the ECU comes off here and comes off down here. Now this side we're not going to touch. Whoa. Wasn't expecting that. Well, that's warmer. I took the bonnet off and now the sun can get to me. It's really warm now. Oh, so much more room. If you own one of these, or a Polo or any kind of Mark III 2 Volkswagen, and you get water in your footwell, chances are that you can take this out, take out your pollen filter, and sometimes the seal around there isn't great, so just get some silicone, go around the entire edge and seal that up. The other place is where if you've got a cable driven clutch, you see where all the silicone is under there. Take your wiper motor off, and there's a chance that the seal there may have perished, which will leak water into your driver's side. Alternately, I had the aerial bung had perished, and what had happened is it was soaking the headliner, going down the A-pillar, and then just filling the footwells with water. So yeah, have fun. Fast forward a little way, so the engine bay is now stripped. I've left the loom in for the time being because I'm not sure what I'm going to have to do with that. It's all washed, gunked it once again. I'm now going to white spirit wash it. Taped off the front of the van as best I can. I don't have enough to do the back, so I'm just going to be careful with the overspray. Yeah, getting there. Oh, and in case you're wondering, this is tinfoil. Probably the best thing you can use to wrap things in an engine bay, because you just crumple it, it doesn't go anywhere. You put it in the oven, 200 degrees for about 35 minutes, and it comes out and all your wiring's broken. Gone over the whole thing in a coat of grey primer. Granted, I know I've got things on like the brake servo and bits and bobs, but not really worried because the whole thing is going to be painted black anyway, so it doesn't really matter too much. But yeah, I mean, obviously there's some fairly lumpy bits where the corrosion was. I don't really care. 2 coats of primer are on. We need to just take a moment because this looks awesome. I'm excited to show you. Look! All rust treated, all painted with rust preventative. The primer was rust preventative primer. Obviously there's still some areas where the corrosion was. I wasn't going to go around and filler everything, but I am thrilled. Oh, hang on a minute. I've done that one. Is that a light spot? No. Oh, there's a little light spot just there. I am supremely happy with that. Yeah. What should I do now? I'm going to tidy it up, and then because obviously we've got to get the wires in, I'll take the dash out. We just appreciate that I used masking tape and carer's aprons to mask off. Look how gross this is. Also, the ECU's covered in gaffer tape. How cool is that? Now I'm assuming that this has been done because these scuttle panels are well known for leaking. And what happens is water then gets in the ECU and it does all kinds of weird things because it starts like corroding stuff and shorting things out, which is just pretty rubbish. So I'm going to pull this ECU out now. Oh wow, you need to see how corroded this is. Jesus. They're pretty clean. I think we should open this up and see how much corrosion has actually got into it. A nice little rounded off sod. Oops. God damn it. I'll just pry it open. Well, that was a giant waste of time. Does this board pop out? There we go. That's pretty cool. I never knew that that's what the inside of an ECU looked like. That's a bit better. To be fair, I could probably undress the van now. Now, because obviously we've got the new loom going in here very shortly, all of this old engine loom down here needs to come out, apart from the lights. Now, I've cut all of the lights out of that loom that's hanging up in there, so I'm just going to trace these wires and make sure that they don't go to the ECU. I'm 100% certain they don't, but if they do, I'm in trouble. The loom link goes up here, comes across here, and goes down into there. Although the good news is that the lights do not go anywhere near the ECU, so I didn't think so. So what I'm going to do is strip all of the engine part of the loom out now, and replace it with the one from the Audi. Well, I'm probably not going to replace it with one from the Audi today, because I've still got to make a video on how to do the wiring for this thing, so soon. I don't know what this was meant to power, but it was broken. This part of the video is my own personal reference. You can see we've got the ECU plug here that we need to get out, and we've got a live and an earth going through it here. Now both of these go into a dedicated port in the ECU plug, right? Now that's all well and good. Now they lead down to here, but they've been taped. Now I'm guessing this is some kind of fog light adapter or something, because it's on the lighting loom, and then this where the plug just fell off. So for personal reference, it's either a live or an earth for a light, and I'm going to cut through it so I can get the loom out. Cool. Oh, yeah, that's the lights, that's the ECU. Every time. So what we need to take off is everything that plugged into the engine. So all of these plugged straight into the engine. Starting with the trigger wire I already cut off because I had to hijack it, but it's going to be fixed in a minute. And then separate the looms and just cut off what you need, what you don't need from the engine, and then pull the rest of the cables through. I better not regret this. Right, so we're now putting the front subframe back in. The mounts seem to go in. We haven't made a custom mount for the rear yet, but Sam's going to be getting to that because he's a top banana, aren't you, Sam?
I don't like bananas.
You like bananas?
I don't like bananas.
Sam doesn't like bananas. But it's painted. Engine is pretty much clean now. The wiring still needs to be sorted out. But we're going to try and get this mounted as best as we can tonight, even if I have to leave it on a jack overnight. To some degree. Do you hoard something? What do you hoard? Is it bum toys?
No. Fucking hoard cars.
I'm hoarding just shit cars, apparently. That's why we're here. Although this is becoming a not shit car.
Van.
God damn it, Van!
Yeah, I keep saying that as well, don't worry. Oh yeah, by the way, you're now associated with, well, we're now basically called the mate with the caddy. That's
from Bennett's.
Bennett's next door. Mark across the way. You're on the jack now.
The jack's in the way. Wait!
Oh, lift it up very quickly.
Drop the engine! You need to let the jack down a little bit.
I can't, I need the thing.
No, I lost the thing. Just move it with him.
How?
Turn the knobby thing! The little nubby knob. You know, under the clicky, there's a nubby knob that you twist anti-clockwise very slowly. No. Below it. The little nubby knob.
From my... Sit here.
Why don't you understand
Sit
what a
here.
clicky clicky and a nupty nup is?
Sit here.
Clicky clicky,
Sit here and
nupty
look.
nup.
Look.
Nupty nup.
Yeah, cripple nut.
Come near me with pliers, bitch. Bad lighting is going to rob some of the colour, but we're getting there. And I got a boo-boo because I punched the floor.